YouTube's own Lindsay Ellis wrote a book, so we're going to talk about it. I really like that in her videos, when she's doing a review of something, she usually uses it as a framework to talk about a larger issue. And at the end of the video, you get to this complex resolution as the culmination of the whole video. This is really difficult to do. It takes remarkable writing skill. And I know that she doesn't write those scripts by herself, but still I had a certain expectation from this book in that sense. It didn't give me a similar experience, but it does have two distinct sections. I was actually pleasantly surprised by what it turns into in the second half of the book. AXIOM'S End is a sci-fi mystery book. It takes place in 2007. First contact has been made, and the protagonist Cora's father has leaked some documents showing that the government has been hiding this information. Cora has pretty much nothing going on for her, and by somewhat of a coincidence, she ends up being the interpreter for one of the aliens. The first half of the book is kind of like a mystery novel with lots of information about the aliens being revealed in dialogue. Then the second half is more like a monster romance, focusing on the relationship between Cora and the alien. I say monster romance, but I mean the general genre where there's a monster and a woman and their relationship. Sometimes it can be a platonic relationship, so something like Beauty and the Beast or King Kong, or this one is perhaps similar to The Shape of Water. I really like the cover. It has this beige frame and orange background. Then inside there's sort of a blue splashed earth, and I think there are some seismic lines for mountains as you see in maps. I'm not super sure what it means, but I like this orange blue beige color scheme. The superficial reader inside me would totally have this on my shelf, but also they added like a full paragraph of Hank Green quotes at the top, which is not okay. No quotes on the front covers, please, guys. I think it ruins the cover. Put it on the back cover, please. Anyway, let's start with the characters. The book is mainly from the viewpoint of Cora, but there are short chapters every now and then, which are documents or interviews and such. Actually, let's check one of the sites. I wonder if they put anything on the site. One of them was the brokenseal.org. Well played, Lindsay. Well played. Lindsay was like, it's not a real thing, dumbass. It's fiction. Fine. Whatever. I thought it would be fun if they put some of the documents on these sites, but they decided to use the opportunity to rickroll us, which I guess you gotta take the opportunity. So I get it. Anyway, I found Cora to be a very passive protagonist. I don't want to say bland, but she doesn't have anything going on for her. She dropped out of school. I guess she studied one semester of linguistics, but it has nothing to do with her being the interpreter. Her being the interpreter is completely through science fictional means. She can't get a job. She doesn't really want anything. She isn't passionate about anything. She isn't particularly curious. She isn't interested in aliens or space. She isn't particularly caring or brave or smart. I really tried to find something to care about her, but she doesn't even have a lot of common sense. She makes a lot of silly decisions. I really wish there was something about her, like maybe at least she graduated from the linguistics program and she loved learning languages and has a certain interesting perspective on translating languages, focusing on understanding the culture or whatever. I mean, this is very prescriptive, obviously, but this particular opportunity was there. I don't know, just anything really. A book she really likes, a TV show she loves, a cause she cares about. Unfortunately, there is nothing, and this makes it incredibly difficult to care about her journey. You never get the sense that, oh great, this is exactly for Cora to deal with, or you can be like, oh no, this is what Cora is weak for. Maybe she's super extroverted and great with people, and you get the anticipation whenever she deals with groups of people, or the opposite, she's introverted and doesn't like dealing with groups of people but finds connection with the alien. Again, these are randomly prescriptive BS from me, but what I'm trying to say is I'll take anything, but there wasn't much, which I thought was a shame. The side characters are somewhat similar. Her family is taken out of the picture pretty early, so there isn't really much about them. I think she does care about her younger sister particularly. Her relationship with her whistleblower father is interesting, but not explored extensively. That relationship mostly stays static. I'm a bit confused about her father's situation. As far as I understand, there's only this particular document he leaked that says we contacted the aliens, but they won't talk to us. I'm guessing he leaked other documents too, but I'm not sure what those are. And that one document doesn't seem like it's the sort of thing that would put you on CIA's wanted list. Bush is the president in the book, and he goes like, oh no, they released this document showing I hid information from people. Now I must resign. And I found that more unrealistic than the existence of aliens. The government only cared about keeping it a secret for the sake of keeping it a secret. There was really nothing else to it that I could see. I don't think it was a threat to national security or anything like that. So like the aliens don't even communicate. It was a bit strange that the only thing government cared about was the idea of keeping a secret. I wish there was a bit more to it. And he hides in Germany. That also felt off to me. I mean, I'm sure the author did the research and there's a reason why, but it feels like there would be a treaty between Germany and the US for exchanging criminals. I know in the real world, Edward Snowden did try to go to Germany, but he couldn't get asylum from them. Maybe there was something else in 2007. I am not sure, but I would have been fine if the book just addressed it, but I don't think it was ever addressed why he went to Germany out of all the places. It's not a major thing, but it did confuse me a bit. The plot is, as I said, is in two parts really. I wasn't quite on board with the first part, which is maybe similar to a Dan Brown mystery. There's a lot of world building study that doesn't quite affect the actual story, but if you like that kind of world building, I think there are a lot of interesting ideas. I did enjoy reading the information about the aliens. It does focus more on the power dynamics and political structure of the alien culture, which is not what I care about. I was really curious about their daily lives. I was curious if this alien missed his planet. He has been away for a long time, and Cora doesn't ask him if there's anything he misses or if there was anything he liked. They have a strong caste system, but I wanted to know if they had fun. Those to me are the most important things about world building. I wish there was more of that, especially because the second part of the book is more about her relationship with the alien. I wish it got more personal instead of learning things about the politics of the planet. But again, I still found the information interesting. And if you are into lore, you might enjoy it too. I think the strong part of this book is the last part, as the relationship between Cora and the alien develops and they start caring about each other and they're changed by their relationship. That's what I like. I like seeing relationships between characters develop in time. I think that is done remarkably well. It's very difficult to do. If you like that kind of thing, you might need to push through the first 60% of the book. The alien itself is weird. I have to admit, I'm not able to imagine what this alien looks like, and that is completely on me. There are descriptions in detail. There are just so many comparisons to the species we know, I just get confused. It's like it has a dragon-like head but no mouth, and eagle-like feet, and then raptor-like stance, and his color is kind of whitish, I guess. I don't know, I'll have to wait for fan art. If you find any good fan art, comment with the links so I can check them out. I'm guessing he looks interesting, but like it was beyond my imagination. One thing that might be trivial is repetition of unconventional words and phrases. For example, a few people kept using the word detritus. This audiobook pronounces it as detritus, and even though it's used only 3 times, it feels awkward when such a peculiar word is repeated by different characters. Or a less peculiar word, emanate. It's not an unusual word, but it's used back to back 4 times in a couple of pages, and it felt awkward. The phrase at length is used 14 times. Again, it's not particularly unusual, but it's one of those things I'm not used to seeing that much. This is super minor, but there are many examples of these, and obviously it's mostly editorial. I realized that I was noticing them, even though I don't really care about this kind of thing. I think the way the word axiom is used is more philosophical than scientific. It is used in the way that you have an assumption and you find out you were wrong, which is where the axiom ends. But I would use the word more as a definition that is accepted as true. Especially there are many axioms in geometry, like you have to define what parallel lines are, so you don't need to prove it each time you're talking about parallel lines. So for me, an axiom is something that doesn't need proving, but the argument that is stated as an axiom in this book requires very much proving, in my opinion. So I see it more as an assumption, but maybe that's how it's used in philosophy. Overall, I think this is a good book if this sounds like the thing you'd be interested in. It's on the short side at around 75,000 words. I read most of it in a day. I think it has good pacing. The imagination of the alien world is very interesting. The development of human-alien relationship is done remarkably well. These are two completely different species finding things in common, right? That's intriguing to read. The journey of these species coming to perceive each other as people instead of animals despite the differences, especially when one of the species is way more advanced, is not common to see in fiction. And it leads to some moving moments too. It says this is book 1, so I guess there will be more books. I'm not really sure where the story will go from here, but I guess there are things to do. I'm curious to see what else is going to happen. But I want to know what you thought about this book. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more book reviews. And I'll see you next time.